The idea that the Americas had broken away from Europe. In 1620, Francis Bacon, the English philosopher, court politician, and father of deductive reasoning, remarked on how the west coast of Africa and the east coast of South America appeared to fit together. So close was the fit that he suggested the continents of America and Africa had in fact once been joined, and later it was suggested that they had been separated by the flood, perhaps the first attempt to explain the mechanism behind the movement of the continents. Toward the end of the 20th century, two oceanographers diving in the deep-sea submersible Alvin on the Galapagos Ridge in the Pacific Ocean came upon one of the most astonishing sights in the history of natural science. They had discovered a staggeringly new biological community of mainly unknown animal species. Massive clumps of large red tube-dwelling worms, fields of giant dams and mussels and blind crabs, all living around hot springs emerging from the seabed on an underwater mountain range. More than 300 years separate the emergence of the earliest suggestions that the continents had moved and the discovery of the Galapagos hot springs. But both developments may be thought of as crucial stages along the timeline of a great scientific revolution, during which the concept of continental drift led to the theory of seafloor spreading and finally to our current understanding of plate tectonics. For Earth science, the theory of plate tectonics was as important as Darwin's Origin of Species was for biology, and the theory of everything will be for physics. The reason is that plate tectonics offers a unified theory to explain the way the Earth has evolved by identifying the processes that have governed the way the surface features of the planet have developed, processes that also control volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunamis. In fact, so far-reaching were the implications of the plate tectonics theory that the oft-overused expression, "the textbooks had to be rewritten," was in this case literally true. Often science only advances when currently held wisdom is challenged, and the road to plate tectonics is littered with some of the greatest controversies in the history of geology. Driven forward by wave after wave of new evidence, however, the revolution gathered momentum until eventually it became unstoppable. The new evidence came from many sources and brought together scientists in the fields of physics, geophysics, chemistry, biology, geology, and the relatively young discipline of oceanography. As the various lines of evidence began to gel, it became apparent that unraveling the full story of plate tectonics was like solving a massive scientific jigsaw puzzle. The development of plate tectonics is one of the greatest stories in the forward march of modern science. By using as our central theme the changes in the way humankind has viewed volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunamis, we will follow the journey that led to plate tectonics from its origins in myth and legend to the science of modern times. That is the purpose of the book, to portray the progress of human understanding from ancient myth-making to scientific enlightenment. Chapter 1. Setting the Scene: The Trinity of Natural Disasters. Natural disasters come in many guises. Volcanoes and earthquakes are the result of shifts within the Earth's crust and the molten material below it, and both can set off tsunamis movements within the Earth's oceans. Volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunamis are, when taken together, what might be termed a trinity of natural disasters. Over geological time, volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunamis have struck the Earth with varying degrees of ferocity, and from the age of the most ancient cultures, humankind has attempted to explain these visitations of nature's fury. Myths and legends. One of the characteristics that distinguished early humans from other animals was their need to understand the world around them, and this applied especially to natural phenomena that brought danger to the environment they lived in. All three of the great trinity of natural disasters carry a grave risk of danger, and together they are among the most terrifying phenomena ever to have been visited on the Earth. Little wonder, then, that volcanoes, earthquakes, and tsunamis became the stuff of myth and legend. In an age of scientific reason,